Yeah, we're live. We live. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're gonna wait a few minutes for some people to file in, and then we'll get into it. But while we're waiting, breaking news. Okay, and this was something that was, that episode. I gotta talk, so I feel like I'm talking to somebody because there's nobody here yet. The episode of It's Always Sunny. Hey, where Dee and Dennis start a podcast. Yeah. What's in the news, D? What's going on? What are the issues? Let's talk about the issues. You know what's really bothering me? The war in Iraq. Hold on. This did tweak me out, though. The idiot in New York City, de Blasio, announced that they were going to cancel the 9/11 memorial this year for coronavirus because it was too dangerous to have... they didn't want to risk the safety of setting up the memorial and whatever. As it turns out, you need to flip two light switches on. Word got out, and everybody kind of had a shit fit. There's Jordan. I got to pause for a second. Victor Jordan is a new dad today, which makes me happy. Comb your hair, hippie. This is post swimming pool hair. Anyway, so the New York City 9/11 tribute to be reinstated with state and Bloomberg support. This just happened, so I'm reading it right off my phone. This week, New York City said the tribute to the victims who died on September 11th would be canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic. And again, you have to flip two switches, two light switches. Okay. I'm not sure how dangerous that is. But on Saturday, New York Governor Cuomo said the state will provide the support needed for the art installation. Whatever. Congratulations to all new dads. Be a dad. Find a girl that you love and don't leave her when she's 27, like some kind of psycho. There's a content provider named Gavin McInnes who makes a great argument about that you're actually committing genocide if you break up with a woman because you can't commit when you're 26, 27 years old. Because it takes, half the time of a relationship to get over somebody. Then you have to meet somebody new, and then you have to get to the point where you want to have children with that person again. And now she's 34, and her ovaries are a graveyard. So that's no good. So you've essentially killed 1 million people because now the children that you would have had won't have children, who won't have children, and so on. So have children. Okay, first thing I want to look at is the U.S. coronavirus. Dr. Fauci says rushing reopening could have devastating consequences. There we go. Dr. Fauci, not interested, man. Not interested anymore. You had my attention at the beginning of the pandemic when you seemed like a medical professional, a medical public spokesperson who knew what they were talking about. But after you've gotten literally everything wrong at every possible turn, I'm not interested anymore. So CNN wants to break this as it's, something significant. The U.S. coronavirus, Dr. Fauci says rushing reopening could have devastating consequences. When people reopen, they talk. All right. They're in close proximity. They share ideas. All right. These people go out and vote, and they vote for Donald Trump. So we can't have people, we can't have an economy reopened. The bigger reason for that is that as long as the economy is closed, the economy suffers. And if the economy suffers, the left and the media can blame it on Trump. Same reason, bad economy, bad Trump. The United States needs to get control of COVID-19 and carefully reopen the country, or the consequences could be devastating. So rushing into a reopening could have devastating consequences. What are these devastating consequences? Okay, can I do Fauci's voice? To think that you can ignore the biologic and get the economy back, it's not gonna happen. I hate his fucking voice. All right, hold on. Where were we? Okay, it's just not going to happen. You got to do both. You got to get control of the biologic as you carefully open the country. Fauci emphasized the importance of acting in a measured, prudent way. He noted that Americans have seen the consequences of jumping over the guideposts that have been established for safe reopening. He said it goes beyond the financial aspect, and that what happens, it could be devastating psychologically and medically. what's damaging psychologically is keeping people locked inside of their houses for months and months at a time, telling people they can't go to the funerals of departed loved ones, telling people that they can't attend weddings and so on. That's what's awful. They've been Desi is with us from Memphis, Tennessee. I have a friend who's moving to Memphis next week. I would love to go to Memphis. That'd be a really cool city. Can I see Desi's second comment? Well, they've been falsifying the numbers. Oh, is that the whole thing? Oh, ... Yeah, they have been falsifying the numbers. That's right. And there's evidence of that. People who are testing positive for COVID. Once you test positive for COVID, you have to be tested a number more times. Okay. So you get tested and then in a week they'll test you, in a week they'll test you. In some cases, this is happening in Florida primarily that I know about. When someone tests positive, they're logging it as a new case. All right. A new case for each time they test positive. Prisoners get more freedom. Yeah. Prisoners are being let go. Yeah. Prisoners are just being released. And we're seeing, prisoners, sex offenders who are recommitting sex crimes after being released and so on. Okay, so we've got 4 headlines. There's the first one. Fauci continues to not know what the hell he's talking about. For your country right now and for the war that we're in against COVID, I'm asking you to do 4 simple things, all right? And this is to prevent, as the headline says, rushing a reopening and the devastating consequences, all right? 4 simple things, and they are to wear a mask, which we were first told do not wear a mask. One, it makes the virus, it makes no difference, and it's preventing medical professionals from having masks. So if it makes no difference, then obviously you see the logic. Social distance, which means stay the hell away from each other so that you're not communicating, that you're not experiencing human contact, all right? Wash your hands, no shit, and be smart about crowds. Right, be smart about crowds. And what they mean by that is don't attend church, but do attend riots. There's a church in California who said, come and arrest me. We're not doing it. For starters, it's a constitutional violation, which I guess we've apparently thrown the Constitution out the window, if you haven't noticed. But it's a constitutional violation to tell people that they can't assemble for religious purposes. The country was founded on religious freedom, unlike what the 1619 Project would tell you, the Pulitzer Prize winning expose on the start of the founding of America. Okay, they won the New York Times. Nicole, damn it, what's her name? Nicole something Brown. I think it's something like that. Damn, I'll think of it. Anyway, she wins the Pulitzer Prize for the 1619 Project, which is entirely based on a lie. All right. The 1619 Project is a piece of literature that says America was founded on slavery. Nope. Founded on religious freedom. Okay. And number 4 was wherever the hell I was. Well, we did number 4, right? Okay. So wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, be smart about crowds. Unless you are protesting, right? Then you don't need to be smart about crowds. Then you can ignore crowds. Corinne, she enjoys social distancing. I also know Corinne personally, and she creates COVID tests. And Eric, they're devil protests. Yeah, they are. They are. That's right. They're anti-white protests. That's all they are. Okay, speaking of anti-white, let's move to, this is Canon Hinnant. I'm reluctant to talk about this article. I'm reluctant to talk about this story because I don't know if I'll make it through the whole thing. He was a typical 5-year-old boy innocently playing in his own yard in Wilson, North Carolina, when police say a felon who was his neighbor walked up and shot him in the head and killed him. Connor's mother wrote on Facebook that he was a child who didn't see color because no shit. Children don't care about race. Children care about if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation. That's what children care about. Okay. They want to go outside and blow things up. That's it. They want to do dope shit. I'm probably going to skip most of this because I have a hard time talking about this case when they grilled the guy who shot him, Darius, let me find the name, Darius Sessmans, he said that he shot him for his white privilege, his 5-year-old white privilege. There has been, as far as I'm aware, unless I'll give you an S-word pass. Thank you. Unless I'm not aware of something, you know, that's perpetuated in the last couple of days, there has been zero mainstream coverage on this. George Floyd, who was a violent, addicted monster in his regular life, all right, has golden memorials, multiple funeral services, marches, protests, riots in his name. This is a man who held a gun to a pregnant woman, all right, robbed her, multiple felon, did 5 years in prison, was ripped out of his gourd on fentanyl and crystal meth when he was arrested. And as it turns out, died of heart failure. So the case is falling apart. The cop who has the knee on his Chauvin, Derek Chauvin, is that right? Has second degree murder charges filed against him. That won't stick. There's no way that can stick. At best, you've got manslaughter. Second degree murder is intentional murder that's not premeditated. First degree murder is premeditated, which is what Darius Nathaniel Sessoms has been charged with. Premeditated first degree murder. I physically cannot read these quotes from the mom. That's too much. This little boy is guilty of nothing other than enjoying his life, and his life was stolen to him by a mongrel, by a vicious psychopath. Okay. A multiple felon. Guy has done numerous prison sentences. The world doesn't need him. And I have read through this, and the mom says that she, and this quote should be tattooed on this guy's forehead. And I want to find the quote from the mom, and she says, "I will burn this country down if it's what it takes. If it's what it'll take to see this man burn in hell. I'm ready to flip this country upside down." Well, guess what, sister? You're not alone. This is how you really want to enrage the silent majority. Pull some of this shit. All right, I'm going to keep going. So Disney, this one's great. This one I love. Disney confirms its first bisexual lead character, who is also multicultural. You need a second? Oh, there we go. Okay. Disney confirms its first bisexual lead character, who is also multicultural. Finally, we did it. Oh my God, we did it. A gay Disney character, a lesbian, transgender Disney character. I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if your character is gay. What we care is that you think we care. All right. I care when you're stuffing sexuality down my 5-year-old's throat. Just as Canon Hinnant didn't see color, children also do not see sexuality. They don't know anything about it, and they don't need to know anything about it. They need to argue over Fortnite skins. They need to go to their friend's house and play on trampolines. They need to go hunting with their dad. All right. That's what children need to care about. All right. Baseball. What happened to that? Why do these characters, all right, who look to be 10 or 11 years old, all right, why are they slow dancing together in a romantic embrace? That's too young. That's unnecessary. That's what I have a problem with. Nobody gives a shit if you're gay. That is not your defining quality. Where you put your genitals in the comfort of your own home, okay? Nobody gives a shit. If I have the list of things I care about when it comes to another person, are you kind? You know, are you compassionate? Are you entertaining, right? Are you funny? Are you hardworking? Are you ambitious? And then when you get down to like 14 or 15 or 16, are you gay? That's kind of where that falls in. Nobody gives a shit. Diversity is making its way onto the Disney Channel. Diversity has been on the Disney Channel. Anybody seen one of the newer Star Wars? The entire Star Wars galaxy went through diversity training. Okay, on Disney. Now Marvel is locked in. They already had the white Avengers, so they're locked in. But for Disney, okay, for the Star Wars universe, white people are allowed one of two roles. You can be the villain, or you can be the dope. That's it. You can be a dopey beta dad, all right, who gets stepped over by, you know, his 14-year-old black adopted daughter. You can be that, or you can be the villain. That's the only room left for white men in Disney, in all of mainstream. I mean, go find me a movie, go find me a television show where the main villain isn't a white guy, or the comic relief isn't a fat straight white guy or something like that. Absolutely ridiculous. So diversity has been in Disney. This is not new. Okay. Disney has confirmed it has a bisexual lead character. That might be what's new. And again, even in the new Star Wars, you know, they had to sneak that lesbian kiss in there. I would have been less repulsed if they had just made the character a lesbian, but didn't focus on that. That's not the focal point of the narrative of the story. All right. That's not an interesting story. Well, I like to make out with girls. Yeah, me too. Okay, great. But what they did with Star Wars is they snuck that lesbian kiss in at the end, like in the background. Look what we did, huh? How do you like that, America? Huh? Ooh, what do you think of that? Two girls kissing, huh? Huh? Get on board. The 14-year-old. Okay, so she's 14. Lovely. So she's just discovering her sexuality, and now we need to expose that to 9-year-olds. That's lovely. The 14-year-old Dominican-American girl, Luz Nocita, is not Disney's first LGBTQ plus character. Pixar featured a gay main character in a short film on Disney Plus. Nobody cares. And nobody watched it. I've never heard of it. I'm pretty up to date with new releases. Not so much Disney, but with things that are coming out and whatnot. I've never heard of it. Nobody watches it. That's what happens when you force feed people an agenda. They're not interested. That's not a story. We want a story. That's why everybody knows A New Hope. Everybody can describe. Here's a job. Here's a task. Try this out. Try this out sometime. It's a way to troubleshoot on whether or not a movie is good. All right. After you watch it, describe the main character without saying what they look like. Okay. So if I say Han Solo, what would you say? Right? He's dashing. Okay. He's a womanizer. He's a rogue kind of guy. You know, he's really cool. All right. Now do that with Queen Amidala from Star Wars. She's the one with the headdress. All right. Do that with, what's his ass? Adam Driver's character in Star Wars. I can't even think of the characters' names. You know, Han Solo, Darth Vader, they're icons. Name the three main characters in the new Star Wars. Rey, right? That's one of them. I've seen them all. Rey. What's the bad guy's name? Kylo Ren, right? There it is. Okay. I got three people in the room. One of them didn't know. Okay. But there we go. And we've all seen it. Anyway, so I'll keep getting detracted here. At first, certain Disney leadership was not too fond of the idea of having an LGBTQ character, said the series' creator, Dana Terrence. Dana Terrence. Maybe it's because some of the Disney leadership, certain Disney leadership, didn't want to force sexuality down the throats of children. God forbid. Now this is where it gets good. I'm not going to let you guys down. Okay. I'm not going to half-ass it here. Okay. I was very open about my intention to put queer kids in the main cast. I'm a horrible liar, so sneaking it in would have been hard, she says in her tweet. I was told by certain Disney leadership that I could not represent any form of bi or gay relationship on the channel. Okay. Have your characters be gay. Dumbledore was gay. Nobody gave a shit that Dumbledore was gay. Terrence identifies as bisexual. She wanted No. You ever heard the acronym LUG, lesbian until graduation? That's what Terrence is. Okay. She wanted to write about a bisexual character. Everybody's fucking bisexual. Give me a break. 2020. So she really pushed Disney to allow the character. What can I say? Am I allowed to say? Luckily, my stubbornness paid off. Oh, there it is. Okay. Luckily, my stubbornness paid off. And now I am very supported by current Disney leadership. Yeah, that's code for I threw a fucking shit fit. Okay. And threatened to sue everybody and dox everybody and bring everybody up on, in front of the diversity tribunal if I didn't get my way when I stamped and pounded my feet because I couldn't have gay characters for a children's show. That's what luckily my stubbornness paid off means. Terrence has gotten tons of positive feedback from viewers. Many are thanking her for representing the LGBTQ plus community and wishing they had a show like The Owl House when they were children. I'm guessing that these scores of positive feedbacks are people that look just like that. Blue-haired social justice warriors. What a staple. Like, there's already such a terrible connotation attached to having blue hair or to being a social justice warrior, right? Like that already invokes an image, and this girl just fulfills it. I'm lazy and I have to wear a gray t-shirt to a press conference. Would it kill you to dress the part? It's a professional event. Put on a blouse, right? Am I out of my league here? Put on something nice. It doesn't need to be a dress. You don't want to wear a dress, don't wear a dress. Okay. But look professional, for God's sake. Comb your fucking hair. Thick black frame glasses, and of course the blue hair. Just nailing every stereotype. And that's it for that article. Okay, so CNN, very, very happy to report that Disney is now the global leader in the diversity movement. Last one I want to look at. Let me check these comments here. She's a horrible liar. Yeah, Billie Eilish cosplay. I like that one. That's good. Yeah, she does look like she uses special pronouns. And I have no issue, by the way, of criticizing how people look. Okay, if you need to criticize how I look, that's fine. Here, look at this. Look at this fucking bald spot yarmulke growing on. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, that doesn't bother me. You say you can't change the way you look. People are born. Yeah, you can to a degree. You can comb your hair. You know what I'm saying? Don't wear flip-flops. Yeah, a man should never wear flip-flops. You never know when you're going to need to fight. Okay, you can't fight in flip-flops. You're going to look ridiculous. What? Yeah. All right. Anyway, the last one. And this is, I was saving this one for the end because I am thrilled about this. There's two major developments in the Trump campaign that I'm thrilled about. Okay. The first one, I don't have an article for. It was announced on Facebook, and then Trump verified it at was it the Police Benevolent Society? Is that right? Yeah. Association. Police Benevolent Association, I think is what it was. And it's the Union of New York City Police Officers. And he delivered a speech yesterday. It was freaking brilliant. He ripped everybody to shreds. And then, as a special surprise, the former mayor, Rudy Giuliani of New York City, got on and ripped everybody to shreds too. That was beautiful. Rudy Giuliani inherited a very broken New York City. It was overrun with terrible crime, with mafia, with it was totally in the dumps. And Giuliani pumped money into the New York City police force, completely reformulated the police force in New York City, and it was a monstrous success all through the 90s. Okay, and into to 2001, past 9/11. Okay, and then Bloomberg took over and did not improve anything, but didn't make anything worse. He continued the same law enforcement policies and reforms that Giuliani had put in place. So good for him. This, I believe, is the first time that the New York City Police Department has ever endorsed somebody for president. That's very telling. And Trump has now announced that the Trump campaign is making a play for New York for the 2020 election. That's huge news. You do not waste precious time and money on a state that you cannot win. So they're not going to do this without having a real strong inkling that New York could turn red. That would be incredible. I live in upstate New York. There's a few people in this stream who I know live in upstate New York. There's a few people on the stream who live in upstate New York. And the Trump to Biden ratio of signs for support and all that they're 5-1. I've seen 2 or 3 Biden signs total. Every handful of houses, there's a Trump 2020, sign peppered throughout somebody's yard. That's not an uncommon thing to see. It's extremely uncommon to see a Biden sign up here. New York goes blue every year because of New York City, every election cycle because of New York City. But the older generation of New York, those historically blue populations in New York are fleeing New York and going elsewhere. They're going to Florida mostly, people are seeing firsthand what happens under Democratic leadership, long-term Democratic leadership at the very least, in New York City with de Blasio. The city is on fire. They just laid off 2,100 police officers. BLM is being painted, a terrorist organization's insignia, is being painted in front of Trump Tower. People have had enough. And they're going to show that via the silent majority on November 3rd. If New York turns red, I couldn't be more thrilled. And the Trump campaign would not be making a play for New York if they didn't think that they could win it. So I'm over the moon about that. But this one I love. Trump campaign makes a huge digital ad buy during the Democratic convention. This is trolling on a national level. This is trolling at the highest scale. Okay. God, I love this. Don't do it to him, Donald. Don't do it to him. The Trump campaign is launching an aggressive 4-day digital advertising campaign that will take over some of the internet's most conspicuous real estate during the 3 marquee days of the Democratic National Convention, which most viewers will watch online. All right. Before I continue with this, Joe Biden's campaign just made the largest ad buy in political history. And it was north of $240 million, and it was all television ad buys. I don't know if anybody told Joe Biden this. I'm guessing they don't really tell Joe Biden much, but politics is conducted, swaying voters is conducted digitally in 2020. Okay. It's all done online. Excuse the smoking. They bought airtime on television. That's a huge mistake. And it was all BLM bucks, right? Let's see if that gets flagged. Let's see if we get YouTube struck for that one, which most viewers will watch online. All right, I'm going to continue with this one. Now, this is a smart ad buy. Adhering to the president's penchant for focusing attention on himself during major Democratic events, which is already a good idea, the Trump campaign will be taking over the banner of YouTube for 96 hours starting on Tuesday. That is fucking brilliant. The campaign will also blanket the homepages of the Wall Street Journal. This is the best one ever. The Washington Post and FoxNews.com with Trump campaign ads. Even non-DNC programming will be indurated with Trump's ads as the campaign has bought premium or unskippable ads on sites like Hulu. That's so awesome. I would say that of the major streaming sites, Netflix, HBO, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Hulu is probably the most reasonable. They're the least likely to stuff leftist propaganda down your throat. I even saw, God forbid, a program on Hulu. I haven't watched it, of an all-white Christian family in the South. That's pro-Christian values and pro-American culture and those kind of things, which I obviously utterly support. So maybe I'll check that out. Anyway, the Trump campaign bought the fucking banner spacing on the Washington Post homepage. Nothing makes me happier than to hear that. The Washington Post, outside of the New York Times, is the single largest leftist shill conglomeration you could fathom. They are an utter disgrace to journalism. The Washington Post, who owns the Washington Post? Jeff Bezos? Can you look that up? I think that Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, owns the Washington Post. It is, right? Yeah. So leftist Jeff Bezos, who plasters Black Lives Matter across, the Amazon Prime homepage. That's because that's what I want to see when I want to log in and watch, whatever on Amazon Prime, which I no longer use now because I'm not going to have that forced down my throat. Also owns the Washington Post, which is a huge lefty news publication, is now under the thumb of Donald Trump advertisement. I freaking love that. The campaign amounts to high seven figures, a significant sum to spend online in such a short period of time, and could top 10 million based on the engagement metrics of some ads. So where Joe Biden spends $240+ million on television ad buys, which will be seen by, senior citizens, and, nothing, senior citizens vote. So, good for seniors. And other, and other demographics that are already going to vote red, in areas that are already going to vote red. I know a lot of the ad buys was made in Miami-Dade County in California, which is usually the county that can sway in Florida, which is usually the county that can sway Florida, in an election. All right. So like a lot of the ad buy was purchased there and stuff like that. Have you not seen the boat parades, the truck parades, the motorcycle parades that are pro-Trump in Miami-Dade County? They're overwhelming. You're not going to win Florida, Joe. Somebody call Joe and tell him he can't win Florida. Give up on Florida. Give up on Pennsylvania. A significant sum to spend online in such a short period of time. So where Biden spends $240 million on television ads, Trump spends $10 million on online ads, and hits YouTube, hits the Wall Street Journal, hits Washington Post, Fox News. Brilliant. I'm so excited for that. I love the YouTube one. It's great that Team Biden let the Trump campaign grab up the best premium real estate on the internet during Joe's big week. That's such a great burn, man. Said Tim Murtinaugh, a spokesman for the Trump campaign, will show millions of Americans exactly how radical leftist takeover of Joe Biden is now complete. That's great stuff. I want to check these comments real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. Our POTUS is a savage, and I love it. Our POTUS is a fucking savage. That guy is relentless. He only refers to Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. He doesn't even, like, a lot of times when Trump's giving a press conference, he'll hesitate, and you can see it in his face. He'll go like, should I really say this again? He did it when he called it the Kung Flu at the Oklahoma rally, and then he said the Kung Flu again at a rally, in Arizona. It was for students, and he goes, fuck it, Kung Flu, right? With Elizabeth Warren, he's just substituted her name as Pocahontas. And then at the New York benevolent little campaign rally that he did, he polled the crowd. He goes, what do you guys like better, by the way? He goes, you like Sleepy Joe better or Slow Joe? And then he stopped and actually polled the audience. He, show of hands. Who likes Sleepy Joe better? Who likes Slow Joe better? The guy is fucking savage. Oh my God. It's called BuzzFeed Sweetie. Nice, Victor. This is the dedication that this page brings, okay? We've got a guy who had a kid like 6 hours ago. And what's he doing? He's watching this channel. So good for him. Good for him. Prioritize, folks. No Biden signs here in the panhandle of Florida. He has no chance. Marguerite Frida, I love hearing feedback from people in other parts of the country. I live in New York. New York is historically blue. Bummer. But of course, we still have to vote red, and many of the rural counties in upstate they always turn red. We have maybe 3 or 4 major cities. Are they major? I don't know. We have Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, and Binghamton in the upstate area. Buffalo, it can be counted on to go blue. Rochester can. Syracuse is more of a coin flip, and then Binghamton can usually go is also usually a coin flip. But when you get down to New York City, forget about it, right? And there's 10 million people in the greater New York City area, 12 million, and there's 6 to 8 million in the upstate region. So I love hearing from people in Florida, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, especially, right? And the only thing I hear, and I know that this channel is an echo chamber, right? I know that that everybody that follows this channel, is pro-Trump for the most part. There's a few that aren't. We got a couple trolls, which is great. I encourage the trolls. But that's what the feedback I get. I know that you're pro-Trump. I want to hear the observational stuff. I want to hear what you see when you drive around, right? What are the signs saying? And to hear that there's no Biden signs in the Panhandle, that's fantastic news. Okay, there's one last thing I want to talk about, just real quick. It's about the channel. So this channel does have a BitChute, BITCHUTE, a BitChute channel. And a YouTube channel. Whenever I and I wrote about this recently. Can you link that? Yeah. When I posted this recently, it's actually a violation of the terms and services or whatever of Facebook to post a BitChute link on Facebook, and that's true for Twitter as well. Don't ask me why. The reason I got for BitChute was that the word bitch is in BitChute, and they said that we won't publish a website with that name. Here's the BitChute. Yeah, so you can go there, and we're getting a little bit of traction, getting some subscribers. Anyway, here's my point. Whenever I post a video that we've made to the Facebook channel, it's seen by almost no one. Well, Alabama is a great state, Diane. Alabama is historically red. Love Alabama. Back to Greenbow, Alabama. What the fuck was I talking about? Anyway, right. So whenever I post a video to Facebook, it's not seen by anybody. Facebook has an algorithm built into it for this page, for a page of this size, right? And it will say it will tell you how many people any given article or any little write-up that I do, it will tell me how many people that reaches. And usually it skyrockets over a couple of thousand almost right away. When I post a video, it will stay in limbo for days and never be seen. The largest one I've seen is like 250 people that a video reached, which means, and a reach is who sees it on their timeline. When I post something critical of Trump, it's seen by tens of thousands of people almost instantly. So we do have a YouTube. You can subscribe for free. We put up videos every week, at least a couple. We usually do 2 a week or so. I'd like to do more. But I'm, a little sad, a little bit pathetic. Just kidding. No, we're gonna tear through these. There's never a lack of content. Is that really the thumbnail we have to use for that one? Can we change that?
Yeah, later on.
We can change it later. All right. Anyway, that's what I want to say. I got to plug myself. So today's, what do they call the things that we don't have? Sponsors. Yeah. So today's sponsor is my own YouTube channel. Anyway, hold on. Deborah Roberts. I'm in California. Inland California is mostly pro-America, so pro-Trump, but no voter ID in Spanish language radio and TV stations, constantly encouraging non-citizen voting. Yeah, non-citizen voting. That's like, you go into a restaurant, don't order anything, and then criticize what's on the menu. Kiss my ass. Thank you very much. I'm going to get out of here, and you guys can go about your evening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. That's all I got. All right. Bye. Thank you.
Trump 2020.
And whatever. Can we cut that out?